All right, here we are. Pilot episode, Too Much Tests. It's me, Big Joe, and son number one, Max Testator, and the East Coast in Boston.
How we doing, folks?
We're doing great this morning. You look like you're a little hungover, my friend. Look like you're.
I'm a little banged up. Not gonna lie, a little banged up. We went to a sweet bar in Boston called Flight Club. Little dart action. It's great time. I am feeling the pain though. I took one too many tequila shots towards the end of the night, so I'm paying the price.
You should be good to go in like 15 minutes. Greasy eggs, double toast, 3 coffees, Diet Pepsi, water. Not that bullshit Pedialyte that you guys drink, which is whoever.
Well, I'll tell you this: best hangover meal gotta be a breakfast sandwich. Need some greasy eggs, do the trick, get a little nutrients in you. I'm gonna say a sleeper underrated, very underrated hangover food: cold pizza. What are your thoughts?
Cold pizza, definitely, but I think the best breakfast sandwich is actually McDonald's.
McDonald's does it.
Any hangover breakfast in the morning, not these fancy dancy things. You sit there, I don't know, Greek feta omelets, all this nonsense. A good McDonald's sausage, egg, and cheese. It's the best. It's the best. Plus the atmosphere.
You throw a little pancake on there, a little McGriddle?
No McGriddle.
No pancake?
No McGriddle. Disgusting.
No McGriddle. All right, I respect it. Hash brown? Got to do a hash brown.
I don't even like an egg. I don't even like an egg on the same plate as a pancake.
Wow.
I don't even know how the Denny's Grand Slam became like popular. It's so counterintuitive. I don't even understand it. If I had one drop of syrup touch my egg, my head would explode.
It's contamination. You can't contaminate.
It's horrible. You need to be focused in. You need to unwrap that yellow package, get that sausage, egg, and cheese. You need a ketchup packet. You need the dip.
Love the dip.
You need quiet amongst your friends. Quiet. There's no discussion of anything until the entire McDonald's meal. Even if it's a mobile meal in the car. There's no discussion whatsoever. And then, by priority, you take turns in an away bathroom, preferably in McDonald's. Everything in the hangover, I think, should be taking place outside your primary residence where you will go to relax. Now, I don't necessarily know this because I don't get hangovers. The whole world knows that. I'm immune to them. But I do know what it's like to be somewhat tired after another drinking. So, but the whole back to the Pedialyte thing and your whole generation is ridiculous. Like, what person decided that, like, hydration was, like, the key to, like, a hangover? There's no science to it. And then, even if it was, who's drinking baby stuff?
Hey, listen. You wake up, you're lost, you got a lot of fluid loss. The alcohol dehydrates you. The Pedialyte is a nice little sweet kick, maybe a little grape flavor. It gets the nutrients back in you. It tastes good. It's going to take me about 10 waters to rehydrate myself by that time. It's perfect.
I'm pretty sure that people that fought in like Vietnam in like 100-degree weather, walking through like the jungles, okay, after smoking like weed and like drinking like moonshine that they made in a toilet, okay, they were not drinking Gatorade or Pedialyte, okay, and they had to worry about whether they got even made it through the day.
Listen, I'm off the Pedialyte train. I'm more onto the liquid IV, a little pack, throw it in the water.
Age 21 is the cutoff.
21?
Your third year of college is when you realize I am participating in a really embarrassing activity that I do after I go out and voluntarily drink. I'm going to drink a fluid that they give sick babies to make myself feel better. It's embarrassing. It really is.
Listen, it's part of it. Listen, this may come out in a later episode in full detail. I'll give you a quick rundown. I have perfected a hangover method called the Test Hangover Cure. It includes need caffeine. So there's step 1. Step 2 is a greasy breakfast sandwich, which you said, preferably McDonald's. Hot shower. That's 3. 4, gotta have at least 1 cup of water in there. 5, Advil. And if it depends on the day is going, maybe a little THC, a little CBD in there to relax the system.
You got to do what you got to do.
Thoughts?
The bonus, the real planning is that you drink on a Saturday night. So preferably you wake up to a Sunday dinner. Okay?
That's true.
That
Good
is
Sunday meal.
That's called planning, okay? What you and I talked about, one of the topics we're going to talk about on the show is we're going to rank the best sauces out there, okay? The best sauces out there. We're not going to kill people and segue into ranking pastas. That might be episode 2, could be episode 3, because we got some sports to talk about. We got NFL Wildcard Weekend. We're getting close to the NBA playoff. All-Star break. We got some free agent signings in baseball. So let's talk about Sunday sauce for a minute, okay? I'll let you pick the top 4, and then we'll rank it from there.
So this leads us into our first segment called Rank 'em. A lot of good names out there for this segment, so we're open to all suggestions, but first rank 'em.
I have to interrupt you for 1 second. We got to give proper due to our boys and girls and ladies that run one of the best Instagram websites, Hardcore Italians in Brooklyn. This is right up their alley. This is what they do. They might even call it Rank 'em. So we'll probably, as this podcast takes its natural course, we'll rename it. But
absolutely, we'll retool.
We're not going to be plagiarizers. We're not going to pretend like we're original on something. This is for the people that don't watch that Instagram site, which I highly recommend, and their swag is good too.
Absolutely,
good swag. So for right now, we're calling it Rank 'em. We could call it like a bunch of other things, but for right now. So give me those 4 sauces, and let's.
All right, first Rank 'em segment. Gotta stick to the core here, the Italian heritage. We're going types of sauce. The 4 that we selected to rank: a Sunday sauce, so most likely a red, a pesto, bolognese, and vodka sauce. So those 4 we're gonna rank 1 to 4. We want to do 1 to 4, 4 to 1. What suits you best?
I say we go 4 to 1.
All right, 4 to 1. You want to go first?
Yeah.
All right, kick it off.
Well, I'm gonna have to start with a pesto as the bottom of my list. Even though they're really good, it's tough to make. I believe it's a seasonal sauce. It's a summer sauce. It's a lightness. It's temperature related based upon whether it's like 100 degrees out on like a August 5th of a Sunday. You need fresh basil. You need someone to know what they're doing. But when it's done right, that's why it's in the top 4 here. So my number 4, I'm going to go with pesto. What's your
Love
4?
it. 4, I'm going to have to go vodka. It's a very good sauce. There's no question about it. But it's a little metagon for me. A lot of people, it's almost like a chicken parm, where it's like, if I look at the menu, if I'm too overwhelmed, not me. I'm never overwhelmed by a menu, just saying. But if people are like, we're going to say, just go vodka sauce. It is good, don't get me wrong. It's a good type of red, but I'm going to have to go 4 because there's better variations out there, I got to say.
That's a brilliant take. And if I had that info before it, I could have been swayed. I could have knocked pesto out of the 4 spot.
Yep.
But that is true. It has become like this associated with that it's an Italian traditional thing. It's something that obviously took place in America, through the cultivation of Italian restaurants, our people that came over, our immigrants. It's easy to make too. You see, this is a factor in my sauce.
It is easy to make. It's good.
It's easy to make, but good vodka sauce. It's pleasing to the eye. Texture's good.
Agreed.
So yeah, I'm going. I'm absolutely going with that. With my number 3 is a vodka sauce, only because someone by the name of like McShane or like Riley or Sullivan, somewhere along the line, could pull it off. Okay?
Agreed. It's like a cousin to an Alfredo. It's close. It's close.
I can't even talk about Alfredo.
I gotta give a first shout out on the.
I'm thinking it right now. I wish I was in Rhode Island. I would throw a glass of cold water in this kid's face.
Yep.
I had to hear the word chicken Alfredo 100 times. But go ahead. If you want to take him down, take him down.
Shout out to my guy Brian Cox, the king of Alfredo. No matter what restaurant we go to, whether it be Italian or American, this kid's going, give me some Alfredo sauce, and it's a must. We had jars of this thing in our college house. It was crazy. I never ate it. I couldn't do it. we learned this a couple summers ago when we went to Italy. It is not a thing in Italy. No such thing as Alfredo.
No, the real cheesy thing is obviously cacio and pepe, which isn't even around all of Italy. That's really just a Roman. That's basically something that you just get in Rome. But we can't give Coxie too much love or too much hate. But
of course,
mark the calendars.
No hate, Cox. Listen, you'll get plenty of shout outs in this.
Shout out got out.
Coxie.
He made history. He made the first shout out.
I love it.
All right, so
3.
Wait,
my 3 is going to be pesto. I love pesto. I do it a lot. But like I said, there's a lot of good shout outs to other sauces. If your sauce knowledge is high, you know there's good variations of sauce. Pesto's great. I throw it on everything. You know, I cook it all the time. You can throw it on a little salmon, little fish, whatever you want to put on it. Good pasta, little cheese in there. Can't go wrong with a pesto. All right, let's hear your 2.
Agreed. Plus, I believe there was a Seinfeld episode where they referenced pesto, like that it wasn't even around in America for a long time. Like, when was it invented? My number 2 is really hard. It's really hard. I want to say that my 2 is going to be Sunday sauce and my 1 is bolognese, because bolognese is my favorite. Once again, incredibly hard to make. But it's really hard. I'm going to have to put number 2 to be a bolognese because, I don't know. It's just, it's almost like a sighting. It's like you don't really see it that often. Has to be made well. I'm going to go on the record. I don't even make it really well. And you know where my skill level is. High.
It is. Give you props.
It's high.
Give you props.
And you'll hear when I give you my number 1 why I have Sunday sauce number 1. There's one element of bolognese that's missing, and it's love. It's love. It's memory. It's everything.
Respect.
It's love. But so, are you on the same page? Or we got to just make the announcement right now? Bolognese is 2, Sunday sauce is 1.
I actually switched them because I'm a big bolognese guy. I had Sunday sauce is 2 because it's just a staple. It's classic. You can never go wrong with a good Sunday sauce. The feeling you get when you eat it, it warms your whole body. It picks you up from the lows of the day, whatever it is. It's great. And 1, I'm putting bolognese because love bolognese overall. And lucky me, I'm here in Boston, and every chef does their different version of bolognese, and it's great to try to eat around and see what everyone makes because it's freaking good. So I got to go bolognese 1.
I was in a restaurant in Rome with the lovely Mrs. Tess, 1994, at the Piazza Barbera in Rome, and it was the best bolognese I've ever had. It was unbelievable. And the guy came out and said, "Do you want to have something for dessert?" And I said, "Yeah, another bowl of bolognese." He brought me in the kitchen and showed me how he made it. He was so
that's incredible.
Happy with my respect. So, all right, we got the sauce thing done. We got to talk about the NFL playoff when a wild card.
Absolutely.
This is a pilot, so we got some editing to do. Some of the stuff we talk about, you might not see it until tomorrow if we launch this thing up tomorrow. But good games today. I got to tell you, I really am looking forward to seeing this Chargers-Jags game.
Absolutely agree.
Herbert against Trevor Lawrence is going to be really good.
The next generation.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's going to be good, and I'm happy for Trevor Lawrence. I mean, I'm sad that as a Jets fan that we puked on ourselves and we decided to win 2 games at the end of the season a couple years ago. They lose the number 1 pick. I still have nightmares over that, but he's been a good NFL guy. He's coming on strong. But Herbert is done great, and he's got like the worst coach. I know you like your coach, but he's a moron. Okay, he doesn't need to play players, and he plays Mike Williams. Okay, the guy who's basically made out of porcelain. All right, and he gets hurt. Now he's out for the rest of the whole playoff season. Okay,
yeah,
that's absurd. But who do you like in the game?
So the Chargers Jags, I gotta go Chargers, and this line has been going crazy. It started with a pick'em, went up to 2.5 Chargers side, back down to pick'em. Now it's back up to 2 Chargers -2. I'm going with the Chargers in this one. I know they lost Mike Williams, but when it comes down to quarterbacks, who do you want slinging the ball for in that game? I think Herbert is a little more trustworthy. We'll say Trevor Lawrence did a pretty. He didn't have the best game against the Titans and Josh Dobbs, who's a third-string quarterback. So I like the Chargers. Eckler is absolute beast. Set the NFL record for most catches in a season by a running back. You know, they got studs all around. Joey Bosa should be playing, and Khalil Mack. They got absolute all-stars. I think the Chargers take this one. It's going to be a tough crowd because Duval, man, they actually got it's a very underrated fan base over there.
It is. It is.
But give me the Chargers, and I think because the Chargers' run defense is so bad, they got absolutely lit up a few times this year. ETN from the Jags, I think, is going to be the player to watch. That running back, him and T. Law have that Clemson connection, so that's going to be a tricky one. That'll be a tricky one. I think you want to talk about the first game?
Oh, yeah.
It's Niners. Oh, go ahead.
Seahawks. Niners, Seahawks. All right, I'm going to throw a little segue in here. I don't even know where to see it. Man, probably YouTube you could find it. I don't even know how you would search it, but there's like a mic'd up Joey Bosa who is like as flat, like emotion as you get. It is like hilarious. It will make you laugh out loud. He's like...
He sounds like Ted Bundy.
Yeah, he's like... Oh, yeah, I love getting the quarterback. I won't spoil it because I won't do it justice, but...
I'm going to try to do a Ted Bundy voice. He goes, I just want to get a sack. Want to get a sack, man. That's all I want.
It's unbelievable. And
if you didn't get the quarterback...
Goes to show you that there's some serious shit going on in that guy's head, okay?
Oh, yeah.
He's got a high motor.
He's probably Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah, I know. It is. He probably is. He's got to beat my guy Quentin Williams out, but, you know...
Yep.
I do think he's probably going to be Defensive Player of the Year. Even though he did lose some time playing, but I like. Here's what I do like about this game. I do like that it gives Geno Smith a chance for the ultimate, the ultimate comeback. I mean, he's obviously the comeback Player of the Year. There's no doubt about it. All right, but it also erases a lot of like bad stuff about Geno Smith, going all the way back to the Jets days where. He got punched out by his old teammate for welching on a bet. I mean,
yeah, that was
tough,
bad.
That's tough to come back in the league, okay? When the rest of your guys in the league are like, "Hey, Gino welched on a bet," right? That's bad. But
Agreed.
Pete Carroll's good. I mean, there's a coach who had the worst call in the history of the NFL. The history of the NFL, not even the history of playoffs or Super Bowl. The worst call in the history of football, right? With the pick to Butler.
Yep.
He had Marshawn Lynch in the background. All he had to do was give it to the beast, and he wins a Super Bowl, and he throws it. Okay, the most insane thing
it was
ever.
torture. You know the story. I've told it many times.
Oh yeah,
in a house of all New England fans, as you as well.
Shout out
watching that pick.
Coming.
Tyler Lockett,
57 Snake Hill.
Tyler Lockett has that incredible sideline catch, or whoever it was. The most insane catch ever. The Seahawks are driving. They're at the one. They have beast mode. One of the best running backs in the league at the time. All you got to do is hand the ball off, and you're walking to back-to-back Super Bowls. And this is our first appearance from the Tess family dog.
The pestiest dog of all time.
Okay? Going to chase some squirrels.
Our professional studio graphics will be improved from this, but you're getting too much Tess, and it's home element.
It is. This is
part of the charm. It's
this is raw, baby.
Raw stuff. Okay.
Go back to Niners Seahawks. So we got a 9-point spread. It's in Seattle. It's going to be probably a low scoring game. I think the over under is 42. Yep. This is it goes to show sports. What's it saying? It's hard to beat a team 3 times. I don't know about this one. I think the Niners can beat them very handily.
It's not in Seattle. It's at Levi Stadium.
Yeah, excuse me. Yep, San Francisco. Yep,
San Francisco. Yeah, it's
at San Francisco, which again takes a huge element out. Playing at the 12th man in Seattle's tough, but they don't have to deal with that. But it's going to break all the Saints. I think the Niners roll. They haven't lost. Knock on wood.
I think the Niners roll. I think
Agreed.
They're going to be able to stop that Seattle running game. Okay, and once you stop that running game, then all of a sudden it's all on Geno. He does have he's got great receivers. Okay, but I don't see him. Listen, I could be wrong. Obviously, that's why it's called. That's why they play the game. But I don't know. He was a great college player, and he did have some moments in the NFL. He did have some moments with the Jets at times. I think that his best playing days were early on with the Jets. But I do think I just love that Niners defense.
Yeah, it's good. Bunch of all pros, ton of Pro Bowl guys. It's loaded. And I don't want to be a mush here, but they have not lost a game with Christian McCaffrey. 9 straight. I think this one goes. Sunday, Bills,
games. Yeah,
Dolphins.
Dolphins.
Sunday's game aren't the best. I'd say the 4:00 slot's probably the best game, just because how uncertain it is.
I disagree with that.
I think Giants Vikes takes it.
Giants Vikes. Listen. You got to have it's our fan base doesn't know, but I despise the Vikings. So I need the G-men to send them home. I think Kirk Cousins is one of the most boring human beings that ever lived. Not even the most boring quarterback, like the most boring human that ever lived. So I'd like to see him lose. Guy's getting like $43 million a year for I have no reason, no idea why. They beat the Giants with the last second. It was like a 56-yard field goal or more.
Yep.
The Giants have done nothing but get better. Danny Dimes has gotten better, and Daboll's a winner.
I agree with that.
That coach is a winner. The one thing that worries me is that T.J. Hawkinson is there with the Vikings, and he's just really good. Guy's got good hair too, so
good flow, very good flow.
Oh no, that's
good.
That's big. That's big.
It is big. Of course, I miss the flow.
You got the flow here, so.
I agree with you.
And the Ravens, I think the Ravens-Cincy game will be just, I don't know. I think Cincy's rolling. Joey Seiss is just, he's got it going. Ravens' defense is a different defense. It wasn't the defense that we knew for all those years. It's a different style. No Lamar. I'd like to see Cincy roll. I do. And, that brings me, you were trying to explain to me this whole, I do understand it, but I kind of forgot half of it. Like the whole neutral field, home field, flip of the coin. I feel bad for Cincy. They are getting screwed on a lot of the stuff, but, money talks, man. You know that the NFL made this decision based upon money, based upon time slots. This is, that's my opinion, but. If the Bengals win, what has to happen for the Bengals to win to this turn to a slot?
So if the home field issue that they were pissed about was last week in Week 18. If the Ravens beat the Bengals, the game this week, the wildcard game, would have come to a coin flip. But that didn't matter because they smoked them. So the Bengals have home field this week. Bengals win. They go to Buffalo, assuming Buffalo beats the Dolphins. So then I'll be in Buffalo. So anything the whole coin flip thing is completely squashed. It's in the past because they already beat the Ravens. So
I'm worried about Buffalo. I'm worried that they cannot stop the run.
I got a bold statement. I'm dropping this right now. And shout out my guy Pat McAfee because he said the same thing. So the Bills are playing the Dolphins in Buffalo, 13.5-point spread. They got the third string quarterback, no Tua, no Teddy Bridgewater, so it's Skylar Thompson. They are going to roll that game.
Oh God, yeah, that's for sure.
Next week,
I didn't mean that I was worried about Buffalo against Miami. I'm worried about Buffalo getting to the Super Bowl or even getting to the AFC Championship game. Von Miller was just really. I once said to a very close friend of mine, the king of Steak Hill, Von Miller was overrated. And then he sacked Brady like 5 times in the AFC game. But
Von Miller's a dog.
Look what he did last year. They just have trouble, stopping the run. Possession is huge. You're too young to remember. But those Giants teams with Parcells and Belichick, they controlled the clock. Time of possession in the NFL, in any sport, is huge. But it's the most important in the NFL. Which, this is an obscure, segue, but listen, that's the genius of me. My non sequiturs, which is I believe that all these quarterbacks getting paid like crazy is going to be a real negative thing in the NFL. But I think the next big thing is I think that offensive linemen are going to be at a premium.
Agreed.
Defensive players are just too big, strong, fast. Defensive coaches, it's hard to put points on the board. And you can't do it unless you could run, and you can't do it unless you could protect the quarterback. I mean, that's 101. That's the history of the NFL. So I'm not saying anything that's like like I just reinvented a polio vaccine here. But teams that had injuries on the offensive line, the Bengals last year was terrible. The Jets,
Oh yeah,
at the end of the year were just terrible with injuries, losing AVT. Buffalo's had some problems at offensive line. Tampa, listen, I hope that the city of Tampa Girl Scout All-Star team is Brady's offensive line this week. That's how much I'm looking forward to him being out of the playoffs. Okay,
agreed.
I don't need to see number 12 with his spikes all spatted up. Okay, that stupid glove. All right, I'm sick of it. I need him gone. I need a mental break. Go ahead. I'm gonna split our audience in half right now. Okay, I am Team Giselle. Okay, listen. I hope every guy in the country hates me for this. Okay, it has nothing to do that the Patriots have dominated the AFC and made my Jets look like morons. It's a big part of it. Don't get me wrong. But
of course,
Team Giselle. The guy's like, what's he, 46 years old. Just drive your kid to football practice. But we'll have another podcast about that, okay? After we see how long Mr. TB12, I don't eat a tomato, I don't eat night vegetables, okay? We'll see after if he's in the Super Bowl, okay, and I'm in the corner in like the fetal position. But I went off on a little rant right there. We'll save that for another day. So
that's all right. I got to give a second podcast shout out to my guy, Mickey Sutton. Shout out
Mickey!
Southtown Golf. Logo on here, baby, because we're talking about the Bengals. I think the Bengals roll, but unfortunately this brings me to my Pat McAfee guess is I think they're gonna roll DeMar Hamlin out that home game against the Bengals. If both teams win, I think they're gonna do something crazy. They're gonna freaking put him in the tunnel with a Bills flag, and Bills Mafia is gonna explode. That stadium is gonna go crazy. I think they're gonna bring him. They're going to bring him out for that Bengals game because that's who they were playing when he got injured.
Yeah, definitely.
It's the divisional round. It's going to be a big game. Bills Mafia. Yeah. It's going to be something else. So I think that'll happen.
Could that game be a neutral site too?
No, the Bills will get that one just because of the 2 seed.
Yeah.
So the only neutral site possibility would be Bills Chiefs, if both of them make it, and they already announced the stadium, which I love. Give me the boys on turf flying around. It's at Atlanta. Yeah, Mercedes-Benz Stadium.
Good looking.
Great stadium. No weather affecting the boys. Josh Allen and Mahomes going to go Superman on everyone. I think it's going to be a great game if it gets there down the road.
Good airport
Agreed.
too. Good airport.
Yeah, big airport.
Biggest airport. I think it's the busiest airport in the world, by the way.
I think you're correct. I think Atlanta takes the cake.
There's one team that I'm really sad that did not make this wild card, other than obviously I won't talk about the Jets anymore because, right? But I'm going to take my heads off this second, right? Got to give a little shout out to this team right now, and listen to my family and friends out there. This is one good looking hat I just bought. Okay, right?
Let's see it.
I don't want people to panic that I could be the guy, the winter hat guy in the summer. Like, that's not going to happen. But if I was going to wear the winter hat in the summer guy, this would be the hat.
This is a tribute to Dan Campbell.
Oh yeah,
Danny Campbell. Shout out.
Shout out to the boys right there.
Keep it on. Keep it on. It's going to give you some good juice.
I look like a hat. I look like an egg or something. I look like an egg.
White hat,
Because we don't know, not 100% sure that this will be out to people to listen to. They'll have to listen to our NFL thoughts, in kind of a post-mortem, possibly, depending on it, okay? Got to go back, coming something that is topical. It is based upon some time element here because we just came off the holidays. The big 3. Thanksgiving, Christmas Eve, big 4. But Thanksgiving, Christmas Eve, Christmas, really can't throw New Year's Eve in there because it's not associated with a meal. But I did learn something about Christmas Eve that I didn't know, which is that Italians eat lentils on Christmas Eve as a sign of good luck and fortune.
Did not know that.
I did not know that. And I got that from Hardcore Italians.
Wow.
Okay, one day, and I got it from then I looked it up, and I asked a couple of old timers. I guess I was too young when I was living back in Goose Hill to know that. Or, listen, we didn't have lentils, even though we ate lentils all the time. But this is a shout out. So, let's talk about the holidays for 1 minute here, okay? Because this is important to me. This is I don't care what anyone says. This is a lot of stress. People may internalize it, they may lie about it, but when do you eat the holiday meal? Okay?
It's a good question.
When do you eat the holiday meal? And I'm going to exclude Christmas Eve, because that Christmas Eve meal should be eaten when it's dark. Okay? Because that's a 7 fishes. That's a meal. People normally work Christmas Eve. Because I'm a degenerate, used to shop on Christmas Eve. But let's talk about Thanksgiving. Let's talk about Christmas. When do you eat? Okay? I'm going to let you.
That's a good question.
Go ahead. Tell me your number. Give me the number.
All right. I think the perfect holiday meal time is about 1:30.
I trained you well.
1:30. I'll tell you a couple reasons. One, you get a couple hours in there, maybe 11 a.m. You throw a little charcuterie board down and get a little meat and cheese. Get the palate going, get a little something in the stomach while you're having some pregame meals or beers, whatever it is, drinks. Love that. So you eat a little bit before. 1 o'clock's perfect because it coincides with sports as well. So you can have the TV on in the background. You get a little football on, a little hoop, whatever it is. Eat. It's perfect. 1 o'clock. I mean, you're hungry by this time. It's a great time. You know what I hate? I hate seeing it, and it makes me hungry. I want to just send a plate over to this person. I want the Thanksgiving Instagram stories or Snapchats of people eating at 7:30, 8 o'clock. Listen.
It's horrible.
Maybe they're going to a bunch of different families' houses before, and you got to deal with that. But if that's just you waiting all day to 8 o'clock, it couldn't be me. It couldn't be me.
No, it doesn't even. First of all, it makes no sense. Secondly, the earliest that you could possibly do a dinner time one is 5 or 6. Okay, all right, but that's even a little bizarre. All right, then you go into bed with a huge thing, right? 1 o'clock is perfect. There's nothing that you could eat for breakfast on Christmas morning or Thanksgiving morning that could possibly fulfill anything. What could you eat? Because you would want to eat light, okay?
Right.
What are you going to have? You might just wake up, drink coffee, have an espresso, do nothing, maybe catch a workout, whatever. Go play a little football game and then eat, right? 1 o'clock, it's done, okay? It's done. But if you wake up and these people, I do know my buddy Zeus, because we're a big Polish family, they'd have a big Polish brunch. But that's it. If you're committing to that big meal in the morning, like a brunch, that's it. That's your meal. Then you got to move to the 5 o'clock slot. That's your meal, all right? I'm not eating an omelet or eggs at 9 o'clock or even 8 o'clock, and then throwing down turkey, lasagna, stuffing. It diminishes it. It's disrespectful to the main meal. It's disrespectful.
Agreed.
And more importantly, disrespectful for the people cooking it, okay? All right? That are putting the time in there. Because when I'm putting together a big holiday meal, and listen, I'll give a little shout out of love to you, bro. You have been a great son doing this, okay? You hammer. You come strong, okay? I've seen you come off top rope, all right? Done. Everything. All the guys.
The bottomless pit, baby.
The all-time eating record that I've ever seen in a holiday meal in the Tessitore family, no one would guess it. I'm just going to tell you. Goes to Frank Tessitore.
I was going to say, gotta be Frankie.
And he was weighing in at 178, okay? And I forget what the meal was, but I'm 95% sure it was Easter. And we had New York strip steaks. There was a ham. There was cutlets. And of course, my mother made a lasagna. And I'm telling you, I know for fact that I saw her eat a cutlet, a full steak, a full piece of lasagna, which, unless you've been to the Wendell Avenue and seen the lasagna pan, it is it's like a casket. It's so thick. All right. And then you got Pareca bread thrown in there. All right, it was unbelievable. So I give a shout out number 2 in our pilot to Frank. But yeah, it's just disrespectful. You got to do it.
Agreed.
You got to hammer it. Okay. But I was talking to you about when we were prepping for this thing. I can't bring other families into it, but it's tell me how you feel about dessert. If you have the best appetite, you're the most active, You could digest quicker, right? So tell me your feelings on dessert.
I like dessert. I'm not like too big of a sweets guy, but I definitely crush me some good cookies, cakes, you name it. The dessert time is that's a good question. When should you eat dessert?
That's it.
I think there's got to be.
Life.
I think here's my statement. I'm gonna say dessert can be served at least it can be as early as 30 to an hour after the meal. But the caveat is you got to have coffee, a little caffeine espresso with the dessert, because it opens it up. You know what I mean? It settles the stomach a little bit. You have a quick cup of coffee, a little piece of pie, maybe some cake, you name it, a couple cookies. But the caffeine is huge.
I actually would leave someone's house if I was an invited guest at someone's house. Okay, if I was an invited guest at someone's house and they didn't serve me coffee after my holiday meal, I would have to pretend like I blew a hammy or something to leave. All right, I'd have to leave. It would be like a living nightmare. First of all, you end up in digestive hell. There's no possible way that you could digest. Okay, and I'm not even saying that. Listen, if you need Fernet, you need a Verno, something like that. Okay, to throw it down. You need to digest. The whole digestion thing it's an order. It's a chemistry thing. I never done it. So I'm not saying that I reinvented the wheel, but I really would like to bring in a little after dinner drink, a little coffee, maybe something small, just instantly.
Agreed.
Some after eight mints, okay? Maybe like a tiny little biscotti, something like that. Give us a buffer zone.
Agreed.
Clean the kitchen, move the body a little bit, okay? Then bring dessert out maybe 90 minutes later. I mean, how much more appreciative would you be eating, rest her soul, my mother, right? Eating a piece of my mother's cheesecake, with a little bit digested in there, okay? But, the cleaning off the freaking table and you're throwing a pie in front of me, this is ridiculous. Even if you don't have an after, how about some sorbet?
Oh, that brings it to the $1 million question brought up by you.
By me.
It's the funniest thing I've ever heard. And I'm going to say it. You asked, what happened to Sherbet? What happened to it?
Where is it?
I only know one store, and I'm in a big city here, okay? One store, and it's back home. It's Stewart's. And anyone in the 518 and anyone that's been in the 518 knows Stewart's. Stewart's might be the only place, ice cream, whatever, only place I know that has sherbet. It's that little 3-colored one. A little yellow, green, pink action in there. That's the only one I know.
I guarantee you that people are being served quote-unquote sorbet and they're eating sherbet. That's number one. But sherbet is a staple of Italian women, okay? Grandmothers, okay? Everyone. Everyone. As a kid, we ate sherbet. I mean, I don't even know where it is. First of all, it's horrifying that it's gone. Okay, it's horrifying. All right, maybe it's out there. Here's what I hope. I hope that when we give people our email address, which I'm gonna make sure I got it right, is it toomuchtest@gmail?
Toomuchtest, TWO muchtest at gmail.
Muchtest, all one word at Gmail. Listen, you can send emails to us. We'll read them. We're gonna take topics. We're gonna add requests for guests. I mean,
absolutely. We may add a little read an email segment.
Read an email segment.
Reading emails.
There's going to be no preferential treatment. Who's guest? I mean, if you want to be on, you're on. Okay. But if someone wants to tell me where sherbet is, or I'm going to say one more thing, right? For all the young listeners or all the people that are culturally devoid, which I'm guessing there's a lot of you out there, because not everyone that's listening to this will be, friends and family, hopefully, but face the facts. There's a lot of culturally devoid people out there, right?
Respect.
If you've never had any kind of sherbet, your basics, your lemon, your orange, your raspberry, okay? If you've been around the sherbet block, you might be exposed to a lime, right? So go out and try to find or try sherbet, okay? Right? Then send me an email and say, thank you, Joe Tess. Thank you, Big Tuna. Thank you, Max Tess. Okay? Making my life goddamn better.
This might be the goal of this podcast eventually down the road. The bringing back of Sherbet. This is the biggest conspiracy out there right now. It's what happened to Sherbet, which also brings me to a point. Is it? It's really technically spelled and said Sherbet, but no one says that, right? I think we all add in a mysterious R in there because I think it sounds better. You know what I mean? Like who says Sherbet? I don't even. What am I, like a 1930s like TV character? Toss me the Sherbet, huh? The Sherbet. I don't know. It's really weird. So that might be another conspiracy topic is we throw an R in Sherbet to make it sound better. I'm on the Sherbet train. I don't say Sherbet. I'll tell you that.
Now, and if I know there's a lot of fact checkers out there. There's all conspiracy therapists, okay? You can all go after yourself about everything that I say, okay? You want to fact check me, all right? So go ahead. I challenge y'all. Go on Instagram or YouTube, wherever. It's Nona Pia. N-O-N-O P-I-A. Find the video where her grandson, who runs the website, brings her a container of sherbet, okay? And watch the happiness in this woman's eyes. How happy she is that she has a container of sherbet. It's an instant open and an instant spoon in, okay?
I love it.
So we're not going to bore people anymore about sherbet because I might get crazy and I might get upset.
It's a good one. It was a good topic.
Whatever.
This brings us to our last topic, and it's going to be a good one. It's going to be a good one, and it's what is the cutoff to say Happy New Year, to when you completely stop? I'm going to have to shout out Larry David here.
Give credit to the air. There you go. There you go.
To say Happy New Year, we got to shout out our guy Larry David. This is one of the funnier scenes in Curb where the lady in the gym goes, "Hey, Happy New Year, Larry." And he's like, it's like January 20th. Nah, too late. It's too late in the year to say that. So that brings us to the answer. I'm going to have to say January, especially if there's a little break from work, maybe the 6th or the 7th, no later than the 6th or 7th, maybe even the 5th. What are your thoughts?
Well, I believe for people that we know, in your social setting, I'm going with 7-day window.
7 days. I like
5,
it.
6, 7. People that are in a social setting, your friends, your family, okay, maybe some coworkers you see. From a business setting, okay, and I'm in the sales world, okay. This sounds crazy. I'm going 3 weeks.
I respect that.
If you see a client, you're out with a client, all right, you have a meeting with someone you do business with, and it's the first time you see him in the calendar year, I think you got to throw in, hey, Happy New Year. You soften it. You'd be like, yeah, I hope that 23 is a good year or 22 is a good year. You have to. Well, you sound like you're insensitive, but yeah. I don't even know if I like New Year's anymore, honestly. I don't even know if I like New Year's anymore. But I think that just goes to show you that I've had some really good New Year's in the past, so I kind of peaked. I peaked with my New Year's celebration.
Could you know what? I'm going to make a statement here. You tell me if you agree or not. I'm going to say January 1, other than Thanksgiving Day, might be a top 3 most hungover day across America. January 1st.
Yeah. People call it amateur hour, all that other stuff, but it's a great day to relax.
Right? Oh, yeah, it is a good one.
Where you know that you don't have to work the next day, that adds like a huge...
Absolutely.
That's a huge element to that. So,
Agreed.
That's
Agreed.
a good ending to this, Max. You did a great job. You were integral in setting up the tech on this. You got to give credit where credit's due.
One slip up. But hey, we're here. We're killing it.
Studio design and no dog and stuff will come, but we were anxious to get something out to the people. The people were screaming. Give us too much tests.
I love it.
And,
yep.
So we had to bring it. I put this in writing to Max. I sent it to Emily. Emily Riccio Sutton, who's a world-class writer, offered her some services. I said, listen, comes from the heart, man. You're gonna get a lot of hours of entertainment come from the heart. I believe in beauty and imperfection. Okay, shabby chic. All right, we don't need. This podcast does not need special effects. That's all I have to say.
You're getting deep on us with beauty and imperfection. I respect it.
It's
deep. That is deep.
So
we'll end it on this note. We'll say, this is episode 1.
What's the date?
Happy New Year.
Happy New
Pass the
Year.
window. Can't do it. Can't do
Can't
it.
do it. Delete it. Delete it.
I'll say on the lookout. Be on the lookout for the Instagram, and we got I'm giving a third shout out, maybe even the fourth. We lost track. We're gonna be shouting out all across the pod. Maybe we got to drop the numbers because we're probably gonna be 10 shout outs a day. But fourth shout out, Kara Sweeney, very good friend of the pod. We'll say friend of the pod, gave us an incredible logo. So we wait till you see this thing. It'll be everywhere. We're gonna make it on the Instagram, the YouTube. It'll be on Apple Podcasts, you name it. But be on the lookout. The Instagram will follow you. It'll find you, and it'll give us all the information. We'll give a couple previews. Information on the way. That's what we'll say.
Hey,
on the way.
Listen, too much tests at Gmail. Send us your topics. Send us your request. Get the love out. Okay, we're gonna have a lot of fun. All right. Who knows? Who knows what's gonna happen? Here's what you do know. Okay, if fame and fortune come to me and Max, you know we will share the wealth. Okay?
Absolutely.
You know we will share it. Okay? We will
Absolutely.
some big time bangers. Okay? Big
For
time
sure.
bangers. Big time events. All right? All right? This is it. We're making it happen. Thank you, everyone. Peace and love.
Peace.
Out.